Okay, Leo, I have a question for you. You're at a coffee shop. You want a large coffee? What do you say to the barista?
Easy. I'll have a big coffee, please.
That almost made me laugh out loud.
What? What did I say?
You asked for a big coffee, and a barista in an American coffee shop would probably understand you, but they would never ever say it that way themselves.
Wait, really? But big and large are the same thing, right? They both mean big?
That is exactly the mistake we're going to fix today because, Leo, you just made the exact same error that 90% of English learners make. And I guarantee you, most native speakers can't even explain why it sounds wrong. They just know it does.
Okay, now I'm really curious. Why can't I say a big coffee?
Because words like big, large, great, and huge are not interchangeable. They each have a specific personality, they each hang out with certain words. And if you use the wrong one, it feels like wearing a tuxedo to the beach.
Okay, that image is gonna stick with me. So what's the rule?
There's no single rule, but there are patterns. And once you learn them, you will sound instantly more natural. So today we are going to unpack big, large, great, and huge. By the end of this episode, you will never reach for big as your default word ever again.
And I'm gonna make some embarrassing mistakes along the way, aren't I?
You already did, and that's the best way to learn. So let's start with the big one. Pun intended.
Big!
Yes, big is the most common, the most flexible, and the most casual of these four words. You can use big for physical size, a big house, a big dog, a big pizza. That is always correct.
Okay, so big works for physical things.
But it also works for abstract things. You can have a big problem, a big decision, a big opportunity. That's all very natural.
A big opportunity. That sounds good to me.
Now, here is the key. Big is for informal situations. It is conversational. It is the word you use with friends. So saying, I have a big favor to ask is totally natural. But if you use big in formal writing or in very polite situations, it can feel too casual.
Like asking for a big coffee at a coffee shop.
Exactly. Now let's talk about large. Large is very similar to big in meaning, but it is slightly more formal. And most importantly, large has specific collocations. That means there are certain words that large almost always goes with and other words that it avoids.
Give me an example.
Think about clothing. You wouldn't say, I wear a big shirt. You say, I wear a large shirt. Sizes in clothing are small, medium, large, extra large, not small, medium, big, extra big.
You're right, I've never heard anyone say a big shirt, but I've said it myself 100 times.
Exactly. And this is the mistake that Spanish speakers make a lot too, because in Spanish, grande covers both big and large. So a Spanish speaker might say, I need a big size instead of I need a large size. Same for Chinese speakers, where the word da covers big, large, and great.
Oh, that makes so much sense. So large is for sizes, formal situations, and specific fixed phrases.
Yes. Large also goes with quantities. A large amount, a large number, a large portion. These sound much more natural than a big amount or a big portion.
Wait, a big portion sounds fine to me.
It's acceptable in casual conversation, but if you are writing a report or speaking in a professional setting, a large portion sounds more sophisticated. Here is another one. Think about a large company. You can say a big company too, but a large company sounds more serious, more official.
So if I'm talking about a huge corporation, I should say large company.
Exactly. Now you are getting it. Now let's move to great. This is the one that surprises most learners. Great does not mean big in terms of physical size. Great means important, impressive, or excellent.
Okay, so great is more about quality than size.
Perfectly said. So you can have a great idea, a great achievement, a great leader. None of these are about physical size. They are about significance or value.
But I have heard people say a great big house that uses great with size.
Great observation. In that phrase, a great big house, great is acting as an intensifier. It means very big. But that is a fixed expression. You cannot say a great house to mean a big house. If you say a great house, a native speaker will think you mean a wonderful house, not a large house.
Oh, that is a dangerous trap. So if I'm talking about my friend's new apartment and I say he has a great apartment, I'm complimenting the quality, not the size.
Exactly right. And this is where Arabic speakers sometimes get confused because the word kabir can mean both big and great depending on context. So an Arabic speaker might say he is a great man, meaning he is a big man physically, when they really mean he is an important man.
That could be a very awkward misunderstanding.
It absolutely could. So remember, great is about greatness, not about largeness.
Greatness, not largeness. I'm writing that down.
Now let's talk about huge. Huge is the most intense of these four words. It means extremely big, much bigger than expected. Huge carries emotion. When you say that's a huge problem, you are emphasizing that this problem is overwhelming.
So huge is like big but stronger.
Yes, and huge is very common in everyday speech. You can say a huge mistake, a huge success, a huge difference. It adds energy to your sentence.
Can I use huge for physical size too?
Absolutely. You can say a huge building, a huge meal, a huge dog. But be careful, huge sounds dramatic. So if you say, I have a huge favor to ask, you are telling the person that this is a really big deal. It creates more pressure than saying a big favor.
So I should save huge for when I really want to emphasize something.
Perfect. And here is a common mistake. Learners often use huge in formal writing, but huge is actually very conversational. In a formal essay or a business report, you would use enormous or substantial instead. So huge is great for talking with friends, but maybe not for a job interview.
Good to know. Okay, so let me try to summarize what I have learned so far.
Please do.
Big is the everyday word for anything. Large is more formal and goes with sizes and amounts. Great means excellent or important, not physically big. And huge is the intense emotional version of big.
That is an excellent summary. But now we need to practice. Because knowing the rules is one thing, using them naturally in conversation is another.
Okay, test me. Give me a situation.
All right, you are at a restaurant. The waiter asks you, what size pizza would you like? What do you say?
I'll take a large pizza.
Perfect. You did not say big pizza. You said large pizza. That sounds completely natural.
Because large is for sizes. I remembered.
Exactly. Now try this one. You are telling your friend about a movie you watched. The movie was really good. What do you say?
It was a great movie.
Excellent. You said great, not big, because you are describing the quality, not the size.
And if the movie was really long and epic, could I say it was a huge movie?
You could, but that would mean it was a very significant movie, maybe a blockbuster. If you just mean it was long, you would say it was a long movie. So be careful with huge.
Okay, noted.
Now here is a tricky one. You are at work and you need to tell your boss about a problem. The problem is very serious. What do you say?
We have a huge problem.
That works, but it is very direct and emotional. In a professional setting, you might want to say we have a significant problem or a major problem. Huge is a bit too casual for the office.
What about we have a big problem?
That is better for casual conversation with colleagues. But if you are writing an email to your boss, use significant or major. This is something Chinese learners often struggle with because the word da is used for big, large, great, and huge in so many contexts. So the instinct is to use big for everything in English.
I definitely had that instinct.
We all did. That is why today's lesson is so valuable. Now I want to give you one more example that really shows the difference between these four words.
I'm ready.
Imagine you are at a party. The host says, we have a big cake. That means the cake is a normal size, maybe for a group. If the host says we have a large cake, it sounds a little more formal, like they plan the size carefully. If the host says we have a great cake, they are telling you the cake tastes amazing. And if the host says we have a huge cake, they are warning you that this cake is massive. You might need to roll yourself home.
That is such a clear example. Same cake, but different meanings.
That is the power of choosing the right word. So let's do a practice round. I am going to give you a sentence with a blank, and you choose the best word from the four.
Let's do it.
Number 1. She made a blank impression on everyone at the meeting. Big, large, great, or huge.
Great impression.
Yes. Great impression is a common collocation. Big impression might work, but great sounds more natural.
I'm on a roll.
Number 2. The company is a blank employer in the region.
Large employer.
Perfect. Large is the word for describing companies in a professional way.
Number 3. I have a blank favor to ask you. This is tricky. Big favor sounds right. Huge favor sounds too dramatic.
You are right. Big favor is the most natural here. Huge favor is possible, but it creates more pressure.
Okay, what about large favor?
No, that sounds very strange. Large favor is not a natural collocation in English. You never hear it.
Why not?
Because favor is a personal, emotional concept. Big works because it is casual. Huge works for drama, but large is too formal and clinical for a favor. See how these words have personalities?
I am starting to see it.
Number 4. There was a blank crowd at the concert last night.
Huge crowd.
Yes, huge crowd is very natural. You would also hear big crowd in casual conversation, but large crowd works too, especially in news reports. Great crowd would mean the crowd was wonderful, not necessarily big.
So context is everything.
Context is everything. And now I want to give you a challenge. The Speak Like a Native challenge for today is this. For the next 24 hours, every time you want to say the word big, pause for 1 second and ask yourself, is this the right word? Or should I use large, great, or huge instead?
That is going to be hard. Big is my comfort word.
That is exactly why you need this challenge. It will feel uncomfortable at first, but after a few days, these words will start coming naturally, and you will sound so much more like a native speaker.
I am going to try it, and I am going to tell my friends about this episode too, because I bet they make the same mistakes.
Please do, and if they want to get better, they can listen to Speak Like a Native every day. We have new episodes in multiple series, so there is always something new to learn.
I want to end with one sentence that summarizes today's whole lesson.
Go for it.
Big is your friend, large is for business, great is for quality, and huge is for drama.
That is perfect. I could not have said it better myself.
Thank you, Maya. This was a huge help.
And you used huge correctly. I am so proud.